I have more than 13 million views on my YouTube channel. More than 73,000 people subscribe my YouTube channel, and also more than 35,000 followers on my Facebook page, and more than 5,000 connections on my LinkedIn. So I'm someone who consider influential on social media platforms, and still I feel anxious every time I post something on social media. And the reason behind that is because I used to have cyberbullying on social media, especially on YouTube and Facebook, like 4 or 5 years ago. And it still affected me today after 4 or 5 years. I still have that anxious feeling whenever I post something on my social media. I cannot have the freedom of speech that I thought that I had, or I don't have the freedom that I feel like, okay, I can say or I can express whatever I want to be. And this is something that very dangerous in this society and in the social media. So I was born in Vietnam, and I don't have the freedom of speech since I was young. And in Vietnam, to consider have the freedom of speech is something that foreign to most of the population. Because like in the past, many people got arrested because they say something against the politics in Vietnam. And also in my family growing up, sometimes I cannot voice my opinions on what I want, what I don't want, because I will consider a bad child if I say something that against what the older people said. And I think that's why I had the tendency to be a little bit rebellious after I am an adult person, because I was raised in an environment where my freedom of speech and my opinion and my voice is not appreciated, and I don't have that freedom. Therefore, I always feel like I have a mission and I have a calling, or I have a desire to be a public speaker and to have that freedom to express myself, and even to connect people who live in the same situation or who go through the same feelings as I do. It's very uncomfortable when I have an idea and I want to share it to the world, or I have a thought or thinking or an opinion and I want to share it to the world. And then in my family, my mom or my aunt told me not to share about it, or they told me to delete it, or even some of my people say that it's not safe for me to put out my thinking. And I don't know, because those people live in fear of being judged, or they used to have bad experience in the past, and I know that they try to protect me because they care about me. But also when you live in fear and you fear like saying what you mean and protecting what you feel right and what the truth in your heart, I feel that you don't have that freedom to be a human. When I started my business, I had a very different and unique methodology that's not like common like other piano teachers or other musical college that teach people. My niche market is for entertainers. People learn piano to play as an entertainer, and also they are people who learn at the old age, not as a children learning to play the piano. And then because that niche market, they need a different approach, a different methodology. That's why I created a new way and a simple way. And then I got bullied from my own industry in Vietnam, that they say that it's impossible to teach people to play piano in just 6 or 8 weeks. And to prove my results, nowadays I got like the first 2 years, it's the most difficult years because my idea was not welcome. And after 1 year, I know that this is something that worked because I already did it in person with my piano students. And then when I transform it to online courses and I scale it to sell it to many people around the world. And then my marketing message at that time was like, learn to play the piano in 6 to 8 weeks. And I got a lot of defense and attack on social media because I'm so different and I have a very different methodology, and that helps people to shorten their time and makes their life easier. So at the time, people who learned professionally in musical school, they didn't appreciate my approach because because what they learned in the past was that they are familiar with a long-term learning. It takes them like more than 10 years in order to master their craft. And how can I teach a person to, like, as an entertainer, to play in just 6 to 8 weeks? And then I got a lot of, of attack from other people, but my results in my work show who I am. And after 1 year, I start getting testimonials from my students. After 2 years, I get more and more. And every year, every student, like 80% of students who go through my course and spend time to practice, they get the exact results. And then people in the industry start noticing me, and then they start recognize my work, and there's no bully anymore. But at a time where I voice something that different, I have a different methodology, or I'm being different, and I put myself in the risk of being attacked by other people, that most of them have different view than me. And that's why I feel like cyberbullying is something that can affect me mentally. At that time, since then, I remember every time that I post something on social media, I have anxiety that I would say something wrong or so different that people would not like, or I will have cyber attack again. And that creates anxiety in me still nowadays. And I say this because I know that many of you, maybe in the past or when you're growing up, you have that experience where you say something different that not like other people, or that's not common, and then you get attacked by other people. But let me tell you, stand up and still do and say what feels right to you, what the truth in your heart. Because the world don't need anything that's just common. The world needs someone who rebellious too. The world needs someone who have difference or different ideas and opinions too. And that's how innovation created. So if you want to have innovation in society, there need to be someone who rebellious and create something new. And if you're that person who have new ideas that nobody can, that not majority of people can relate it to, there's still people who feel the same way as you. Maybe that not majority of people, but still you have your tribe. And you need to be the leader in your tribe and say what is truthful in your heart. Because why I overcome that fear and that anxiety when posting, because I know one thing. When I was 27 years old, I got a chronic disease, and at that time I realized that if I die tomorrow, I will not bother if anyone tells something about me or their judgment on me. And if you treat your life as you will live a short life, you will live only for tomorrow, then you need to start saying what is truthful in your heart, and you need to stand up in what you believe. So that's how you gain the courage in order to be a leader in the industry or in your own field, in your own tribe. I don't know, whatever community you are in, there are people still need a leader who courageous enough to say what is truthful in their heart and gather people with the same ideas, with the same voice, or people who cannot voice for themselves. So I want to encourage people who have a unique view or opinions. Maybe it's not common in society, but still you can stand up for that and treat your life as a short life. It's something that you just live for today and tomorrow. You want to do something that is truthful to you. Thank you for listening to the podcast, and I hope that it will encourage you to be courageous. Even you feel fearful, even you feel scared, even you feel anxiety, you still need to stand up and be courageous and say and do things that is truthful for your heart. Thank you. Bye.